If Greg Rivera will agree to stop bothering me, let's all stand and say Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome to the July 22nd meeting of the Rybrook Village Board of Trustees. I apologize for the slight delay, but we had many topics to discuss. And I'd like to move right on to resolutions. Resolution number 1, considering the use of village streets on Hayden Pond Drive for a block party on August 3rd, 2025.
Whereas the village has received a letter dated July 7th, 2025 from Lauren Miscamara of 23 Hidden Pond Drive requesting the use of village streets for a block party to be held on Sunday, August 3rd from 3 to 5 p.m. And whereas the village board is supportive of this proposed block party, now therefore be resolved that the use of Hidden Pond Drive on Sunday, August 3rd, 2025 from 3 to 5 for the proposed block party event on Hidden Pond Drive is hereby approved with the terms to be established by the police department.
Can I get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anybody in the audience want to discuss this?
No, thank you. I'm all ready to fill you all in. But thank you. Why beat it down the horse?
But we haven't voted yet, so we may still say no.
Do you do this every year?
Yes.
No. Interesting point. We have a holiday party in December every year, and it's always been lamented that in December half the population has vacated and gone to warmer climates. And we don't.
Would you mind just coming up to the podium
I wouldn't mind at all.
where we can interrogate you?
Forward, Jim.
We will interrogate you mercilessly.
You saw the folder and my handouts? Here, just a second. Let me see. I think I have enough here to go around for everybody. They're alternating, so there's 2 of them there, so you can see the little flyer that went out to the neighborhood about it and the actual layout of Hidden Pond Drive. The actual layout of Hidden Pond Drive in the Hidden Falls community. Did we make it? Are we good? Okay, even with extras, huh? Okay, so as I was saying, we have a December party, a holiday party in the clubhouse every year for approximately the last 9 years, just not during COVID. And we've always lamented that the half of the community that's already left doesn't get a chance to enjoy what a great gathering it is when we all come together. So, of course, there's been a call for a summer party for a long time, and come summer, everybody is like, well, no, I don't know. And I said, okay, this year we're doing it. We are doing it because we are missing 40 to 50 people who don't get to gather with us as they do in the winter. So I gathered a committee of about 7 eager women who were willing to help me and put together a concept of what would work best for the community. We decided that a Sunday afternoon would be where absolute least traffic might be on Hidden Pond. There is never very much traffic on Hidden Pond Drive, but on Sundays it's almost desolate. So that was agreed to late in the afternoon, so we didn't conflict with any baseball games, etc. And just a simple gathering out in the sunshine with everybody bringing their own lawn chairs and bring whatever you want to drink. We'll provide some snacks for you and some fun games of cornhole and horseshoes and jump rope and beach balls and hula hoops, if any of us can still do those, allowing for younger attendees as well. I'm trying to think of beach balls. Anyway, and of course the pool is located on Hidden Pond Drive, so it made great sense to use that cul-de-sac for the party because anyone could also take a dip in the pool and come on down and join us. So on the map that I have there for you, the aerial view, in the pretty much top, middle center is the location where approximately the party would take place. So this is the length of Hidden Pond, which goes down into a cul-de-sac. It comes off of Long Ledge, which to the left of the picture is the circular or swinging, curving street that continues up from the entrance to Hidden Pond, which is off of the street on the far right, North Ridge Street. So that's where we are. Within the red block are the numbered houses that we look to cut off from regular activity. And I have received permission from all the neighbors in those houses to go ahead and put up a very easily removed barrier of just two 2x3 plastic horses that'll have a sign in between saying closed for party, but if somebody needs to get in or out, it's no problem moving them aside. It'll just make sure that UPS takes a longer walk than usual on that Sunday afternoon. I think that's about it. We were going to cut it off at 15, which is how this red outline is. We figured we actually only need to block it off at 17, and that'll still give us plenty of room to gather our lawn chairs, gather our younger grandchildren, whether it's with beach towels or it's just sitting on the ground and continuing to play. So that's why we wanted to block it off. And I have already, the first phone call I received when the flyers went out was from exactly the person I was targeting. Said, "We are so happy that you are finally doing this because we've so missed the winter ones and we're so glad we're going to be there. And I really appreciate your doing this." So that made my day, knowing that somebody really would be appreciative. And many, many calls have been similar to that since.
Thank you.
Are there any questions?
Just want to, one comment, I just want to make sure that, it sounds like a wonderful event, but I just want to make sure that you, when you're planning it out for the street, just make sure that any horses that are put out there, we just have to get access for emergency vehicles, so just make sure if you're planning anything in the street, that we need access for fire, police, or EMS.
Sure, I understand. I have a feeling, too, that if there's a need for a fire truck, we'll be the first to know. So we'll be ready to clear out for you. Yes.
Question, are you Lauren?
I am Lauren. I apologize. I am Lauren Miscamera, and I live at 23 Hidden Pond Drive, which is the one house down actually sort of off the cul-de-sac at the very upper right-hand corner of the red square. And I have given consent.
And I
To block it
assume
off.
that this body of water in this photograph is the not-so-hidden pond.
No, well, you could be looking at the not-so-hidden pond. Yeah, the big body of water is. There's also the pool right behind the clubhouse.
big
But
body of
yes, there is a little brook that flows down by my house, the hidden brook that flows into the hidden pond, that flows into the hidden falls, that flow down below our neighbors at Avon Circle area.
Lauren, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Greg?
Thank you. I apologize for not identifying myself first, but thank you for saying
Between
that.
the lines.
Thank you.
Okay, Trustee Epstein.
Yes.
Trustee Cron.
Yes.
Trustee Moreno.
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes. Resolution number 2, considering approving the use of village streets on Carlton Lane and Bonwit Road for a block party on August 30th, 2025.
Whereas the village has received a letter dated July 14th, 2025, from Christine Boduck of 17 Carlton Lane requesting the use of village streets for a block party to be held on Saturday, August 30th from 5 to 11 p.m., and whereas the board is supportive of this proposed block party, now therefore be it resolved that the use of Carlton Lane and Bonwit Road on Saturday, August 30th from 5 to 11 p.m. for the proposed block party on Carlton Lane and Bonwit Road is hereby approved with the terms to be established by the Rybrook Police Department.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Second.
Does anybody want to speak on behalf of this resolution?
No, we had this, I mean, it's our second one. We're excited to
Yes, I remember last year, yep.
Hearing
You were
nothing.
invited?
I live around the bend, I can cut through.
Does anyone have any questions?
No.
We can grill Chris. Hearing no questions.
No, I guess the same protocol with the barriers, making sure in case emergency
Make
vehicle.
sure when you're planning it out that we have access.
And
Anything in
same,
the street has to be easily movable, that kind of thing.
and once again, I also noticed there's plans for an ice cream truck, same thing. The truck will need a permit for the day.
Yeah, we have a special permit for a short-term event. It's very inexpensive. It's, I forget, $20 or $30 or something, but just have to come in. It's like a two-day or 3-day permit.
And you can get that at our office, actually right up the stairs. Our confidential secretary will assist you both with that. You guys all good? Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Crom?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes.
That's a loud yes.
Resolution number 3, considering an appeal of a tree permit removal denial at 33 Whittemore Place.
Whereas Maria Martino, of the owners of 33 Whittemore Place, applied for a tree removal permit for one pin oak tree, and whereas the Superintendent of Public Works, Michael Nowak, denied a tree removal permit for the removal of this tree, and whereas Maria Martino has appealed the denial in an email written on July 17, 2025, and whereas under the Village Code, the Board of Trustees shall hear any appeal brought in accordance with the code within 45 days of submission of the appeal, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rybrook hereby either approves or denies the tree permit appeal conditioned on the revision on the replanting plan to include an assortment of trees subject to approval by Michael Nowak as per Village Code.
I am going to hold off on asking for a motion and second until we decide whether we're approving or denying this. So, is there anybody who would like to speak about this? Please identify yourself.
My name is Maria Mutino. I'm the owner of 52 Hillcrest. Okay, so we're concerned of the personal injury or the bodily
Please speak into the
Oh,
microphone.
sure.
You know why? Because it captures it on the video.
Okay, thanks. All right, so there's a couple of reasons of why we would like to have this tree removed. First and foremost is the personal injury or the bodily injury that can occur because of this tree. My neighbor's driveway has been compromised as a result of this tree. The family is a constant victim to this tree, the damage that it caused from this tree. Just this morning, a limb fell. If it happened at the wrong time when a child or anyone was there, somebody could have been severely injured. Also should be in account is we have a result of climate change, the frequency of 100-year floods. I think it's impossible to truly monitor this tree with the root system. There's a dry well that's near this tree, and I'm just concerned that the root system will not be able to withhold, and this tree could fall and cause severe damage. And I would hope that, common sense would prevail in whether this tree should stay or go. If this tree was in a forest or someplace else, it's a beautiful tree. I would have, obviously, you'd want the tree to stay. But it's in between two houses. It's a very close proximity. This is not something that is just in the middle of nowhere. And it's becoming a burden financially. It's becoming a burden for injury. There could just be a catastrophic injury because of this tree. This is not the place for this tree to be.
Have you had an arborist look at this tree?
When we had, yes, we've had an arborist look at the tree.
And did he or she give you a report?
No, we didn't pay for a formal report for the tree. We just feel that the tree, we're more concerned of what could happen with this tree. We're concerned about climate control. We're concerned about the 100-year flood is now more of a frequent occurrence, and we're just concerned about that, of what could happen. Yeah, I believe that you all have the photos. I think they were all emailed. We didn't print out copies because I think you guys have them all.
I have some, I'll let them finish.
You mentioned something, I thought I read something about your insurance company, or the insurance, property insurance. Was there something that they asked you to remove, or was there something?
No. So it's all part of,
Excuse me, please if you want to
Okay.
speak, come up
Oh, yeah.
and identify yourself.
I just want to
There
make
you
sure
go.
you're finished.
Well, you can go if I have
Awesome.
to jump in.
I'm Joe Tina. I'm the homeowner at 33 Whittemore.
Next door.
So we're both corner lots, and our houses are
Yeah.
butt up against each other along Ironall Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So I also work in insurance. I'm a partner in Hiscox Insurance, a specialty insurance company. I
Oh,
reached
okay.
out to my insurance agent,
Mhm.
and I got the classic, I should have known, answer of, hey, I had a limb fall in my garage not so long ago. I'm not looking to file a claim. I'm just, if this should happen, like, what's the process, right? Because I too am worried about this constantly happening. And my insurance agent gave me the classic, like, let me tell you a story. When we have hail damage claims, when we send an adjuster out there, we want to make sure that person has, a carport in their future or a garage in their future. But if they're doing nothing about it, you're subject to a potential rate increase or non-renewal. Like, he gave me the stock answer. So it didn't give me much comfort that, like, if something were to happen worse than what already happened, in the sense that my homeowner's insurance would react negatively.
Okay.
I was going to say, based on my own experience, I know that basically the insurance company of where the damage was done is the one that has to deal with it, not where the tree is located.
There's a few things in my letter that I wanted to address, but that was just a small sliver of unknown or concern that I
okay.
potentially have with the tree.
Any other questions of this gentleman?
And you're the neighbor that the tree's affecting more of, I guess, right?
If I can, I know it's late and I don't want to bore you guys. I know you got the letter. I'm probably going to sound repetitive, but I moved in January of, God, it's all 1 year, 2020, right before COVID, and I've had constant property damage from this tree, and this is actually the first time Maria and I are meeting, so hopefully she can attest that I'm not the type of neighbor that complains, knocks on doors, and says, your tree caused this. I'm fortunate enough to earn a living that I can afford the damages I've paid for. The final straw for me was when a huge limb, and I mean limb because if you see my garage, like, limbs have hit my garage and punctured holes in my roof, almost hit my 9-year-old daughter. It was a loud thud that my mother-in-law in the kitchen was like, what was that? It could have killed her. And I'm not that type of person. That was the final straw to me. That's what caused me to reach out to Maria and say, we have to do something about this. You'll see I have pictures of scale with my hand near branches. You'll see the indent in my roof. That's a significant, it basically punctured my roof, damaged the truss, water got in and damaged the sheetrock of the ceiling in the roof and damaged my vehicle. Even when my vehicles are outside in the driveway, acorns come flying down like 100 miles an hour and leave dents in my car. I have pictures of that as well. Outside of that, I want to say I work in insurance, and when I called to appeal to the town, I basically called pleading, begging, and I said, guys, I'm not an expert in this. And to the question that was asked before about an arborist, I'm not an expert, and Mr. Nowak is an expert. But what I can say is I work in insurance, and I promise you, we're $1 billion of top-line premium, and we write a lot of small contractors in Westchester and entrepreneurs in Westchester. There are claims every single day, bodily injury claims every single day. You just might not hear about them. And I just want to say that we have 2 homeowners where this tree is located, that we both don't want this tree. We both are very aware of the location of this tree. It's not ideal. I have 34 trees on my property. I'm not an anti-tree person. This has nothing to do with beautification. It's just the location of this tree is not ideal. So sorry for the rambling.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Further questions? No.
Yeah, I've been on the planning board, and I just want to say I'm very sympathetic to your plight. There is a gentleman on the planning board that's been complaining about our tree law and how hard it is to get a tree removed. So I'm very sympathetic to it. I was trained as an engineer. I'm not overly sympathetic to, overly soft about removing trees. However, let me just say, I drove up to your property, and it is the biggest, most beautiful tree, perhaps in Rybrook. I mean, it is, if there was a contest, you would be, do you agree? It's an absolutely incredible tree.
It's almost out of, we just went to Disney with the girls, and like, it's almost that tree of Earth. Like, the
Yeah,
trunk is enormous.
I know that tree.
It is, it's incredibly enormous, but it scares us to death.
Right. But, so I would love to be able to say, I'm sympathetic and would say it should be taken down, but without another arborist saying, like Michael said, to your issue, perhaps look at having a tree expert cut cut limbs that are, in danger of falling or dying back. Have you tried that?
So there's a few things. We did reach out to a few arborists during this. A lot of them have been wishy-washy, I'll be honest, because I think the project is enormous, and a lot of them, I think, have given us I don't know, I think it's healthy, but others have said, like, based on some of the trimming, water potentially have gotten into the barks up higher. Again, I'm not an expert. We have trimmed within our means, within what a landscaper can reach, but this is 70 feet tall. It's enormous.
It's enormous.
It belongs in a forest. And I will say that if that's the only alternative, so be it, but I will also point to the fact that, again, as a tree person, I'm not anti-tree. If you drive along Woodland Avenue, and this could be the utility company, I don't know what this is, you'll see a bunch of decrepit-looking trees that are stubbed down to like nubs. I have pictures, and I don't want to be that guy that does that. Like, I want to do this right. I just want to remove the hazard.
No, understood.
Yeah.
My position, though, is that we have an extensive tree law that's been in place for over a decade. We're Tree City USA. Again, I'm not like waving the banner for trees, but the community has sort of spoken over the decades that, even the New York Times says, we're a green leafy village. That's how we're sort of identified. The thing is, to me, this tree is not an ordinary tree. This tree is, again, that I'm here like waxing about trees sort of surprises me, but it is stunning. I could not in good conscience sort of say, without another arborist saying, yeah, this thing is a danger and it can't be mitigated by, cutting limbs. It would be, literally, there's communities named after trees like this, almost, it's amazing.
And I respectfully, I don't want to say it's not your property.
No,
It's
I
not- it's not your
understand,
children
understand.
At risk.
Yeah.
I get the tree's beautiful. Like, I fully appreciate that.
But our expert is saying,
Well-
our arborist is saying that it could be mitigated by cutting branches.
Don?
This
Why
morning.
don't we let our arborist actually
Okay.
speak for himself?
Yeah. That would be good.
Michael, come on down.
It's your turn to be, no,
No, you're the contestant.
you're with me, I hear you.
That was a great show.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Michael Nowak, Village Superintendent Public Works, Village Engineer, arborist, ISA certified arborist from 2009. As the board's aware, I've been with the village for over 20 years. How often has a tree appeal come across? Not frequently, okay? I try to work with people, but once in a while you come across a situation like this where you walk into a massive tree that has certain qualities, characteristics that take you back, okay? I did perform a visit to the tree. I'll give you guys a handout. I'm not sure if everybody was able to go and see the tree.
I did not.
Do you have a copy for them, too? If you don't, they can use mine, I can look on it.
I didn't-
So, that's,
You can use that.
That's a picture
I'll
of
look
the
on with
tree, basically looking from one end of the street and looking the other end of the street. Okay, and in doing my review, I assessed the tree visually from the ground, looking at the structure of the tree, looking at the trunk, looking at the root flare, trying to determine any visual defects, looking for cracks, looking for torquing of the trunk, any visual signs that would warrant any defects. I did not see such in this tree, okay? This tree is a mature tree, does have a full upper crown that's approximately 70, 80 feet wide. It is about 50 to 70 feet tall, so it is a very tall tree. The trunk's approximately, I believe, 36 inches in the diameter. So, no, it's actually 52 inches in the diameter. So this is the type of tree that many municipal codes would literally prohibit removal of. When we talk about environmental impacts, it could be calculated what the benefit is of this tree for rainwater dispersion, interception, what the carbon dioxide retainage could be, what the carbon footprint is, and what the benefit of this tree is. Those could all be calculated. And when we talk about, you know, the 1 in 100 year event, things of that nature, these trees provide such a benefit to the environment versus smaller trees that it's just a scale of magnitude. All right. You heard that the neighbor of Mr. Tina said he has 38 trees on the property, or 48 trees, 38 trees. Okay. Most of those are arborvitae. They will not provide nearly the benefit of a tree of this nature. Okay. The key here to remember is trees can be managed. They cannot be controlled. They're a living organism. Okay? What if is always a possibility. The same way you turn your car on and get in and start driving. What if? Okay? I believe that there are arboricultural techniques that could be applied to this tree to safeguard it, to do a crown reduction. There is some dead wood up there from branches internally that could be trimmed out. And I think an arborist could further evaluate this tree and put forth a mitigation plan. Okay? In some of the emails that have been forwarded to the board, there's discussion about branches, and what do you define as a branch? Is a twig a branch? Is something size of a pinky a branch? Is something the size of the stem of the microphone a branch? There's little discrepancies there, okay? Typically when I discuss a branch with someone, it's typically anything 1 inch or larger in the diameter, okay? It was mentioned earlier, and there was an email this morning that a limb had fallen today from the tree.
This morning.
Okay. I want to discuss that a little bit because I had a hard time identifying that branch. So I'll be right back.
You're wrestling.
Show and tell.
So,
It was gone. That's the one that was in my driveway.
That's the one that fell off the tree.
Yeah, I
Okay.
assume so.
So I had a hard time identifying this branch because this is not from the oak tree. This is a pin oak. This is a cherry tree branch. Sorry. This end this end was cut from the cherry tree 20 feet to the left on the corner of Mrs. Mutino's property. This did not fall from the oak tree.
No.
Okay?
It's in my driveway.
Laws of gravity, 32.2 feet per second, anything falls down
Per second.
per second. So
It was a windy night. But that was a cut.
So the first page is the branch along the edge of the roadway in the right-of-way. Page 2 is the cut on the cherry tree, which is on the corner of Mrs. Mutino's property. The cherry tree is about 10 feet to the left of where the oak tree is, about 20 feet to the left of Mr. Tina's driveway. The third picture is the cut end of the branch from the cherry tree. The fourth picture that has the red and the green, the red is the picture of the cherry tree in relation to Mr. Tina's driveway, and you can see a white Tahoe there, and this picture was taken a while ago. And then the last page is the identification between the oak tree, the cherry, and the location of where the cherry tree is, the oak tree, in relation to the driveway. So, listen, I'm not here to lie, okay? I'm here to be factual. I understand it's a massive tree. I understand the ramifications. I understand the law. I understand the consequences. But, you know, we want to be honest here, okay? There's no arborist report submitted. I have no information from another arborist. I'm familiar with hazard analysis. I'm familiar with what the outcomes are, okay? Unless a report is submitted, my view is what I've submitted to the board. My feelings are what I submitted to the board. As arborists, we are general practitioners. We're like your basic medical doctor, okay? If the board would like a second opinion, which the board has the right to request, the village could retain a master arborist, which we have done in the past, where we could have a master arborist who is a specialist in the field of arboriculture who could come out and evaluate this tree. But that would be at the applicant's expense. They would have to fund an escrow account to do that. I haven't spoken to a master arborist in a while. We haven't used one in a number of years. Okay? How much it is, I don't know. I would have to get a price. But when you do a hazard analysis, a standard ISA hazard analysis, you look at the size of the tree, what the impact zone is, or the fall zone, should that tree fall. You assess, is it occupied full-time, part-time. You take into relation what is the chance of that tree falling, what is the chance of the defect, or what is the defect of failure. That's all assessed in the hazard analysis. Okay, so that's all I got for you.
Any questions for Michael?
I do have a question. You noted that there could be some mitigation to forestall any issues, so that would mean somebody would come and cut some branches that they thought were at risk. You did say that some of the, it could use some shaping. Do you think that that would help and keep the tree healthier? Or you think it's a healthy tree, but that would help make them feel better?
So oak trees require maintenance, okay? They do grow, obviously, like any tree does, but they do require a level of maintenance. They require maintenance certain times of the year as well, more so in the winter time, being that there is oak wilt right now. So trimming a tree right now is not the time to do it.
Okay.
Unless it's another emergency that something had snapped or something you have to trim it, fine. But a tree like this should be pruned in the winter time when the tree goes dormant, because the beetles that spread oak wilt are not present this time of year. The recommendations I gave were overall just rough ideas of things, but not all inclusive, okay? Once again, I'm not up in the crown. I'm not up there, so I can't see up there. But, I mean, I've spoken to Mr. Retina about it, and you could do a crown reduction and a shaping on a tree of this nature, where you could trim off approximately 20% of this tree and reshape it and pull it back. Okay, you could remove dead wood. In the pictures, there are twigs which are about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch in size. There's a lot of them up there that are just up there, you know? So yeah, when the wind blows, one snaps, two snaps. Could damage have happened in the past where a leader of this size had fallen and penetrated the roof? It happens. It can happen if it comes straight down at the right angle. Yeah, I mean, it could penetrate a roof, you know? But this tree, from what I saw, hasn't had pruning cuts in it in a long time. There were some cuts from the past that have started to compartmentalize, that started to heal over, okay, and started to close. They haven't fully closed, but those were the only cuts that I've seen in the past. Nothing along the outer edges. You know, in order to trim this tree, you're bringing in either a very tall bucket truck, which is about a 75-foot bucket, which is probably, you're hitting the middle of this tree at the most. I mean, this is a tree that's going to be climbed. This is a tree that actually a climber is going to go up and trim all the branches by hand. Yeah, and it's just too tall.
Right.
Any other questions of Michael? Michael, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any expert in
Well, I was just thinking, so I guess probably, yeah, okay,
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I knew that thing was missing when I went to go show my wife. I don't know where that came from. It was in my driveway, so I don't know what the motion was that it came off a cherry tree or not.
Okay.
But it's massive, and it was in my driveway. And I do want to say that, you know, when I spoke to Michael the first time, when I called him asking him what are my options if this shouldn't happen, and he did give me some advice that I appreciate. I just cannot stress enough that the location of this tree is not ideal. It is right in between two homes. If anything were to happen, it's going to be catastrophic. Even if you trim it, it is so high that branches, limbs, whatever you want to call it, is going to injure somebody. It's ripping up my driveway. It's all over Irenall, like the public street. It's becoming part of my morning routine is to pick up these branches. And the last thing I just want to say is, again, you know, it's my kids that are nervous to go into their car, to go to school every morning. It's my back and my expenses to trim and clean and to take care of all this. I'm willing to plant 6,000 trees if that's what it requires. I'll be here next year with the block party, and it'll be an easier conversation. I grew up in Astoria, Queens. My wife and I, this is our first home. We're very proud residents of this community. I volunteer my time on the weekend. I coached the 10U Vipers to a championship this year in softball. I'm not the type of person to cause problems or lie and plant things in my driveway. This tree is not ideal.
Speaking from my own experience, as somebody who has experienced, as you used the phrase, catastrophic tree incidents twice. And the first time, my wife and I were out of the house for 11 months.
Oh, no.
And all I can tell you is that if I wanted to make certain that my house was absolutely safe from all the trees that could possibly damage it again, I would have to get rid of almost all the trees on my property. And that's always been my problem, which is you have to denude your property of trees if you really want to be safe.
Yeah.
And if you have trees in your backyard, do you let your kids play in the backyard? A branch might fall at any time. It's an impossible situation. My feeling is that absent an arborist who would argue against what Mr. Nowak just said to us, I have a hard time understanding how I could support the idea of, oh yes, take this tree down.
That's fair.
And I'm only speaking for myself
That's fair.
now. And as I
appreciate
say,
that.
I've had this happen to me twice
Terrible.
by neighbors' trees. Not my trees, neighbors' trees.
It's terrible.
And I still speak to them, I still like them, I just don't like their trees. There's just nothing we can do unless you want to just put concrete over everything.
I don't. I share your same
Yeah.
sentiment. I'm afraid of water. I vowed never to be near water for those similar reasons. Again, I will say that I've insured a lot of these contractors that run into these situations where towns say no and then something happens. And the town, Mrs. Mutino, myself, or the town of Rye Brook does not deserve the negative press if something horrific were to happen.
So I guess really you have two options of what I'm gathering here. One is have the tree trimmed and pruned, right, to thin it out, or get another arborist report and come back.
So that my only question would be,
I'm thinking, right?
it's $1,000 for an arborist report
Or vote on it.
or vote.
I think be getting a sense of where this board is going.
Yeah, that's.
So, really what it comes down to is a ruling that you may not like, or we could postpone this matter to another day, and in the meantime, you can decide whether you want to hire an arborist, get a complete report, and you have to keep your fingers crossed that the report will basically
But his-
be in conflict with Mr. Nowak's.
Yeah, I don't want to cause.
No, that's not causing any,
I appreciate what's required. It's $1,000 gamble, for lack of better phrasing. This tree would cost us like 13 grand to remove, so like none of us want this expense, but this shows you how passionate we are about this. I don't know about you, but I'm willing and hope that the board votes hopefully in our favor, and if it doesn't, we'll just have to figure out what to do from there. Unless you disagree, I don't want to speak for you.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And the other option would be that the village hire a separate arborist, but that would come at the applicant's expense.
well, we could do that, but it's the same thing, you might as well.
Right, I would.
Hire
think-
your
I
own, right?
would think taking the money to hiring, instead of hiring an arborist, using the money to get a qualified trimmer to do the climb might give you some level of comfort.
Yeah, look, if that's the consolation prize here, at the end of the day, I'm happy that we remove some hazards, and that's fine. I just can't stress enough, the location of this tree doesn't belong there, and it grew out of control. It's almost like from the beginning of Rybrook's existence, where there was no houses there, and it deserved to be there. It's just massive.
How
As I-
much
as I
larger
say,
is it going
sir,
to get?
I can sympathize because a massive tree basically split my house in half.
That's,
And so I do understand.
sorry to hear that.
But right now, my feeling is, from what I'm hearing, is that we would probably be denying this appeal. And so I'd like to get a motion and a second on the idea of denying the appeal. Is there a second?
Yeah, I would second that, but are you sure you don't want to get, once you get a denial, then you're sort of out of the option? Don't,
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
How long goes by until we resubmit an application if we wanted to, like next year, what would happen? How long do we have to wait if we were going to resubmit an application?
Huh? No time frame in the code. You'd have to resubmit, there'll be a cost for another application, that's why, if you want to withdraw it, you can, and then just wait and resubmit and get trimming, you might want to get a report, you might want to have an ISA arborist, have an arborist look at it and give a recommendation for trimming. I think might be your best option, is what we're hearing.
But we don't need a permit for trimming, right? We could just hire someone.
As long as it's not, you can't clear cut, you can't do, you mentioned about the trees that were bare, that's not allowed by code.
It's not,
Yeah.
we don't want to have it trimmed improperly.
Yeah, we want to make sure it doesn't get damaged, you want to hire a professional
Of course.
arborist, and they work with their trimmer.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
Yes, and just make sure that they have insurance.
of course.
County license.
No, I say that because he's going to be climbing 70 feet, and you
Yeah.
did mention, and actually, I'm in the insurance, I
Right.
was an insurance broker.
And Michael would be a very good resource for getting the names of the
Qualified
appropriate
people.
people to do the work.
Well, when we submitted the permit, we had to go through the process. It wasn't just go submit it, which
Yeah.
it was kind of annoying. We have to submit a permit, but in order for the permit to be submitted, we have to have the contractor. So it would have been nice if we could have just submitted the permit. You guys could have denied it. Like, we had to do this whole process of deciding who we were going to use. So we already have set up who we were going to use. It's on the permit.
I even gave her
which-
money. Like,
Right, because of who we're going to use. That's another thing that, on a different note, I feel that is kind of unfair and a waste of everybody's time, that I have to submit a permit, it has to have the contractor on it, for you to say no, that it's denied. Meanwhile, I had to spend 3 months or 2 months getting quotes and seeing what we were gonna do. It could have just been streamlined, okay, it's gonna get denied. It's like, did it matter who we were gonna hire?
Thank you.
So we already have who we're gonna hire, we got their insurance and everything.
And that's why I almost don't want to do this again.
Right.
I feel terrible for Ms. Patino that, like, she's been a good neighbor here because the majority of the tree sits on her property. But every day, it's been back and forth.
Right.
And it's, I don't want to do,
I think that they bring up a good point,
And then if for these
and perhaps we can streamline something like that going forward, since this is an issue.
Well, I want to address that. All tree permits require a contractor for liability reasons, for safety reasons. We've had people get hurt. We've had people fall out of trees and break their backs. We need to know who's doing the work, because oftentimes when we issue a permit, that permit winds up going to someone else. And we do not get a copy of their license or who's doing the work. Okay? That happens a lot. Numerous tree companies in the area will apply for a permit, then the permit is issued to XYZ, and all of a sudden ABC is doing the work. Okay? So that happens a lot where people file under one company and use someone else. Okay? Now, the company that applied is not a licensed arborist. They're just a tree removal company. Okay? They've done work in the village. We've had issues with them doing work in the village. There was another oak tree that they trimmed a while ago. Okay? So that's why we need to know who's doing the work. There are ISA arborists, there are TCIA arborists who are licensed to do work. Tree companies are tree companies, and I'm not knocking them. We have a lot of great guys here, a lot of great ladies here that do tree removals, have tree companies, landscaping. I'm not knocking them. There's a difference. You're going to go to a dentist to remove a tooth. You're not going to go to an intern to remove a tooth. Okay? So, you know, once again, there's a difference. A tree like this needs to be evaluated, supervised by an arborist, not just a tree company who's going to go up there and trim the crown back and cut everything back to 2 inches or to 4 inches and just go bzzz,
Which is why I think it's a permanent hazard.
you know, which makes it then a hazard.
Got it.
Okay?
So, I guess...
So I do apologize that it took you a while, but there's a reason we require that, because
So if a permit is, if someone applies, can they apply, you get the application with the fee, because you got to do your work.
then I go look at the tree.
You look at the tree, you say, okay, you can cut it down, but before you cut it down, you have to supply the licensed contractor, insurance, blah, 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 and then we'll issue a permit.
Correct.
Is that how it's done?
I do that all the time.
So,
I do that all the time, okay?
Okay.
When we get an applicant and someone hands in and says, well, I'm talking to tree companies, I'm not sure who I'm going to pick, and they file for the permit, I've had people do that. I try to work with people, yes.
Okay.
A lot of times we do ask for this information up front.
Mhm.
Okay? But whether or not the permit gets denied or not, that doesn't happen until I get the application and I go look at it.
okay, well, that's what I'm trying to get. I'm thinking maybe we can streamline it where you get the fee, you go out and look at it, we get paid, the village gets paid for your services to go out and evaluate it and say, this tree is reasonable enough to get taken down. I can issue a permit after I receive all the insurance documentation and contractor. Or we take, you're denied a permit, and I guess, obviously, we'd have to keep the fee because you went out and did your diligence, so I'm assuming. Is that how that would?
Application was filed on June 11th.
Or-
I was out there on June 18th.
Okay, no, I know you put your time in.
know,
I know you're putting your time in. I'm not,
Yeah, well,
we can think about it,
this
okay?
is, we'll always discuss if there's a better way or another way to do it. Perhaps, like, I'm just thinking out loud, the board always would prefer to have an arborist report on appeals, so maybe that's something you can incorporate, where if it's a questionable type of tree and it's more healthy, that maybe they can request an appeal, but there'll be a requirement for an arborist report, for instance, to go to the board. There may be something we could look at as part of that discussion.
Right, that's why I brought up.
We'll look at it, we'll always look and see if there
To
can be a
make it more
modification.
perfect. Obviously, when we have these situations, it makes us think,
Because we don't
how
have a
can
lot
we
of
do
appeals.
it better? We don't have a lot.
In the letter, it states, if you decide to move forward with the appeal, a certified arborist report must be provided.
Okay.
Is that in the application of the code?
We decided, look, it's $1,000 gamble, we got a quote for 800, we got a quote for 1,000 for the appeal. If few of those tree contractors had some choice words about this process. Some of them shied away from it.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's craziness.
But if we could make something easier, we'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll look. We'll always take a look and see if there's a way to do it differently.
So what are you guys thinking? You thinking of trimming it, or are you thinking of?
that's the best bet.
I think that's your best bet.
To eliminate branches from falling, I think we should.
I think this is probably the least expensive, and then
Just-
evaluate.
And the only thing, I'm not looking to raise an issue, but I want to make sure that it's clear up front. What Mr. Nowak was talking about was, there's a lot of places that are unlicensed, and I know that's not what you're doing. But if you damage the tree in a way, that's also a violation, so I just want to say that up front. So you want to make sure whatever company you're doing, and that's your business, is somebody who has some background on the best way to trim trees, not just clear cutting or cutting down the trees. Because if the trees get damaged, cut off the top, whatever it is, I don't know enough about trees, but if they do something that's damaged the trees, that is a violation, so just be aware of that. It's always best to ask ahead of time.
Well, Chris, let me ask you, right now, the application before us, which is the subject matter of the resolution, is an appeal to take down the tree.
Correct.
Can we vote on that tonight?
Sure.
I don't know if we need to.
We need to.
They
Why don't we
wanna
just?
keep
They
it
can
this
do
way.
anything.
I would
The board has
prefer-
yet to move on, remember, you haven't made a motion even on it, you don't even have to consider the resolution if you don't want to, or you could decide to make a motion to approve the application or deny the application. So the choices are really in front of the board, or the applicant could choose to withdraw it.
Withdraw it.
You have to tell us what you want to do.
I would like the board to vote.
It's the applicant, just to be fair, the applicant is the homeowner.
Yes, like we're here, we came today, that's your decision, to whatever your decision is, and we're going to stand by whatever your decision is. So
And-
if that's,
But why not withdraw and really think about it a little bit?
It's been taxing.
Okay.
It's been exhausting.
Okay, I'm just trying to,
Well,
yeah.
I
that's
look,
I'm-
I called, I called and tried to have, I was told that people die in car crashes more, and I was told that people die of cancer from smoking. I tried to have a civil conversation with someone here, and that's the response I got.
Okay.
When I said that limbs fell,
Okay.
and almost hit my child.
Did you speak to Jody Ernst,
No, I spoke to someone.
It's Jody Ernst.
senator who said everyone dies?
Oh, thank you, right.
Okay.
Greg, I think we had a motion and a second.
Yes, Susan motion. and
denial.
Don
No,
second.
no, not
Oh,
official.
I second.
Second.
Okay, I'll second.
Call the roll. Trustee Epstein.
I want to say, I understand your position as homeowners and how you must fear a tree limb coming down, but we have a man that we hire to do all of this work and get certified and go to classes to be an arborist, and we have to trust in what he says. So I really think I have to vote no as well.
No, we're voting to deny the app.
Yes, so I'm voting yes.
You're voting yes, okay.
I'm sorry. So no, you can't do it, but yes to the.
Don't confuse me, I'm old.
I'm so sorry, it's not funny. But you understand where I'm voting?
Yes, now I do.
All right, Trustee Crom.
Yes, I know, I feel the same way, and, sorry, no disrespect meant on any of this conversation. One of the reasons I went is I was trying to say, try to find a way to come out on your side, and, it's been an enlightening conversation, but, I sort of reluctantly also vote yes on this.
Trustee Morlino.
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Heiser.
As I've said before, I've lived through tree hell, not once, but twice. But I am going to vote yes.
Okay.
Now going to move on to resolution number 4, considering an appointment to the Sustainability Committee.
Now therefore be it resolved that Yolanda Stone of 18 Law Ridge Drive is hereby appointed to the Sustainability Committee for the term ending on the first Monday of April 2028.
Can I get a motion second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Greg?
Trustee Epstein,
Yes.
Trustee Crom,
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
and Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes. Resolution number 5, considering budget transfer for fiscal year 2024 to 2025 for community development block grant capital projects.
Now therefore be it resolved that for fiscal year 25-26, capital budget be modified to advance funding from the general fund for the purpose of a street sweeper, and that these funds advanced for this purchase will be reimbursed to the village through the Water Quality Improvement Program grant and thereafter returned to the general fund. Now, be it further resolved that the modifications be approved. There's an increase in, just let me look at 1 second if you don't mind. Transfers for, okay. There's an increase from fund balance to a designated for capital projects fund balance, and an inter-fund transfer that allows that to happen. And the same way, the capital fund is a transfer over to the street sweeper fund. And be it further resolved, the following allocation between capital projects funds be approved. And this is from our walkway boiler. There's a balance there, the amount of $101,229.08. And on the Hillendale Road drain line replacement to the HVAC AJP project in the amount of $30,000. And be it further resolved that the following fiscal year-end 25-26 capital projects be restated as follows. And it's basically just accounting for those particular transfers. And be it further resolved that the capital 25-26 project balance for the capital project payroll and HR system be transferred to the general fund, and modify the treasurer contractual budget to fund the service fees for the new payroll processor, and that's a transfer in the amount of $18,000. And be it further resolved that the following fiscal year 25-26 capital project with zero available balance be closed and removed from the proper length schedule, and the project length schedule. That's the AJP boiler and walkway project is closed, and the payroll and HR system is closed.
Thank you. Any questions?
No. Sounds like a
Greg?
Motion, we have a motion and second?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, motion and second. I apologize.
motion.
Second?
Now, any questions?
Can I just add one thing, just so you guys are aware? So what this is, a lot of this is doing is advancing, some of it is advancing money because we have grants, but they're reimbursements. So we're just advance the money, it gets reimbursed, then ultimately will get transferred back to the
into
general
general
fund.
fund.
So a lot of this is just making sure we have the funds to pay for the project in place. So we're using, in some cases, it's transferring balances from other capital, in some cases, it's advancing from our interfund transfers and our designated for capital projects fund, and then when the money comes back, we have to send it over, because what happens is, particularly on the county CDBG grants, that's just a slow process. And if you don't get it closed by the end of the fiscal year, that leaves our books unbalanced. So you want to keep your books balanced, so you do this ahead of time, and then when the money comes in, it gets transferred back again.
Okay, so I just have one clarification there. You say it's the county money? for
Well,
these
it's the federal
grants?
money through the county CDB, Community Development Block Grant.
So there's
project.
no chance of these federal funds drying up for
Always a
these?
chance that they do.
Okay.
Like, I would never guarantee what the federal government's going to do.
I was going to say, do you watch the news?
But at worst,
Dude, that's why I'm asking the
Yeah,
question.
that's
but
what
at worst, these are all projects that have to be done, and HVAC work, it's basically infrastructure.
Got it.
So the funding, you're
choice.
putting the funding in place either way.
Got it. Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Administrator Bradbury, can I also just clarify, this is a project that's already been approved by both
Yeah.
county levels, so yes.
And I just wanted
There's
to
an agreement,
find-
but you never
it
know
was
what
a
could be pulled
general
out from you,
cue.
Yeah, no, the point being that the county should already have the funds to give
Yes.
us. It's any future projects or CDBG that could be problematic, but,
That's what we're told, yes.
yeah, but not this one, thankfully. The county has all the funds.
Appreciate the clarification.
And on this one, we have a deadline too, by the end of the year, has to be completed.
Greg?
Trustee Epstein.
Yes.
Trustee Crom.
Yes.
Trustee Morlino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes. Resolution number 6, considering budget transfers for fiscal year 2025 to 2026 for capital projects.
I think this is 24-25, right? 6? What's that? Ah, okay. Okay, now therefore be resolved that the following capital projects be modified for fiscal year end 24-25, and to recognize additional approved funding through the CDBG program. And this is also the transfer of funds from increasing appropriations and revenue for the HVAC equipment. And be it further resolved that at AJP, and be it further resolved the following fiscal year 24-25 capital projects be restated as follows, and that's in the amount of, there's a transfer, the following year-end capital projects are restated, and the restatement is AJP Walkway and Boiler in the amount of, the modified budget's $300,770, and for the AJP HVAC equipment in the amount of $249,500. And be it further resolved that the following fiscal year 24-25 general fund budget transfer be approved, and that's from balances in employee benefits, health insurance and social security, to consulting fees. That's just to close out of our accounts for that particular year.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Quick question, Chris. This equipment here, the boiler, the walkway, who does the, inspections and follows up and make sure everything's done properly?
Mr. Nowak is the, is the person that does that.
So you'll send Michael out to make sure that,
Yeah,
the
we
boiler
don't have a
was-
construction manager or anything on that.
okay,
no.
you don't, okay.
His equipment, he manages that. He's actually has background in HVAC work as part of his skills prior to Rybrook.
So do you bring the building department with you, anybody there
The
sometimes?
whole department. I'm kidding. No.
I
But
think
we do
it's a good
apply,
idea.
but we do apply for permits, so.
Yeah.
We still submit an application for the permits for all our buildings and
And
get
they get
COs.
inspected?
And they get inspected and get COs
Okay.
after, for the work.
Okay, by the building department, okay, good.
Yeah. We don't charge ourselves, though.
No, that's fine.
You don't?
I'm a team player, I was just curious how that, what your
Sorry.
procedure is.
Should
Any
joke
other
Could be a
about
fund
that.
transfer, could be a fund transfer.
A fund transfer.
Okay.
All right,
Greg?
Trustee Epstein.
yes.
Trustee Crom.
Yes.
Trustee Morlino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes. Resolution number 7, considering an amended agreement between the Village of Rybrook and Westchester County for community development block grant funding for the Anthony J. Posillipo Senior Center HVAC.
Okay. Whereas on March 12th, 2024, the Board of Trustees approved an agreement with the county for $50,000 for block grant funding for AJP to renovate the HVAC system, and whereas the village has requested additional CDBG funds from the county to offset additional costs associated with the HVAC project, and whereas Westchester County has approved providing the village with additional $74,500 for a total of $124, provided through the grant program towards the project, and whereas Rybrook must agree to the terms and conditions stipulated by the county to receive the additional grant funding, and be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the amended agreement for the additional funding to offset costs for the HVAC, subject to modification by council, and be it further resolved, the mayor and administrator are authorized to sign any documents necessary to accomplish the purposes of this resolution.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
So what this is sometimes when other projects in the county don't move quick enough, they have balances, and they need to show drawdowns on the funds that they have for CDBG. And at times, although they'll only fund up to the 50%, what they'll do is that you can, so if you contact the county and they have funds available that they have to draw down, they sometimes will consider providing additional funds, and that's what they did in this case. They provided additional funds for us.
Woo-hoo.
Nice,
Nice.
nice.
Yep.
Please forgive me, Chris, but whenever you use those initials, I keep thinking of CBGB.
I know.
I know.
I know.
Brings back memories?
Same thing.
Is that memories there?
Yes, exactly.
I either apologize or say you're welcome, depending on how those memories are.
Oh, the memories are wonderful. Any other questions?
We'll tell Greg what CDBG was, what CBG
He's too young for that.
was.
We need not go into that.
And just so you know, it's country, blues, and bluegrass.
Trustee Epstein.
Yes.
Trustee Crom.
Yes.
Trustee Morlino.
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes. Resolution number 8, considering an agreement between the Village of Rybrook and iWork, I assume that's how it's pronounced, Systems, Inc., for asset management software.
Whereas Rybrook seeks to enhance its capacity to repair, maintain, and inspect village infrastructure, and whereas Rybrook has received a proposal from iWork Systems, Inc. of Logan, Utah, for software to improve analyzing village infrastructure, and whereas the proposal is a 3-year agreement at a total cost of $6,000, and whereas Rybrook seeks to enter into a proposed agreement with iWork Systems, now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the proposed agreement with iWork Systems, Inc. of Logan, Utah, subject to modification by council. Be it further resolved, the mayor and administrator are authorized to execute all documents necessary to accomplish the purposes of this resolution.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second.
Administrator Bradbury, can we just get the deputy mayor clause?
Oh, yes. And also, it's actually that the deputy mayor and the village administrator are authorized. This way, Deputy Mayor Heiser can sign the agreement
I am.
in the mayor's absence.
Yay. Sorry.
So,
Any questions, comments?
can you just please do that again, the motion, the second?
I thought we did that.
So
didn't we?
moved.
We did.
Yeah, I just missed it because
Susan,
Yeah.
that's Trustee
did.
Epstein and Trustee Crum.
I second.
Once again, any questions, comments?
So this is a new kind of software,
yes.
and it's going to work?
Let's ask Michael.
There's a lot of software. How do you keep track of all these things?
Is the software agreement ready to go? Yes. Okay.
iWorks is a digital platform for asset management and work orders, and it'll help us track our infrastructure needs. So when we replace a stop sign, we could take it, document it, log it, and it goes into a GIS database. When we have a sanitary sewer overflow, we're able to do the same thing, go on site, then take pictures and fill out the report. And it's uploaded by address or by GPS coordinates and layers and so forth, so forth.
It's easier to keep track of things.
Much easier to lay out. The company's going to help set up the forms. It's not a work order program. See, a lot of these softwares are work orders. We don't do work orders here. We're so small, we just hand stuff out and we go do it. So we don't need a work order program. I need tracking database. I need forms. I need asset management. I already have a lot of this stuff on GIS layers. We have our outfalls, we have our manholes, we have our storm drains, we have our street signs. So we already have all this stuff on a layer. I just need now to take that and go to 18 Hillendale, take a picture of the manhole that's overflowing, write it up, take pictures, what happened, it's documented. So when we have to do an annual report, I could go in there, boom, 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 all sanitary sewer overflows. Here's your report. Yeah, that's technical.
I like that.
That's free of charge. So it has multiple layers, and we could advance more layers, or we could buy onto more layers if in the future we decide to do other things, whether it's in the Parks Department or other departments, so it's modular. All this data is ours, and this data will be shared with Westchester County GIS, who stores and manages our files.
Okay, so everything belongs to us.
Yes.
And if you don't keep this contract going forward,
We download all the data.
okay,
We get the data.
got it. I don't want you to lose anything.
Please forgive my complete and total ignorance. How do you find these companies?
Through our associations, through American Public Works Association, through MAA, ICMA, there's many associations. They come to all the trade shows. They're there, and you talk with vendors, and you talk to other municipalities who do what, and you try to find something. In this case, we tried to find something reasonable. We were paying slightly less than that for something that we utilized to help us, but it's very cumbersome, and it's really not what we needed. So
So this
decided
sounds like a simpler solution for you?
a little more complicated program, but the setup, the use of it is much simpler.
So do they come here and show you how to do it, or is it really something that is intuitive?
No, they do have training involved. there's going to be meetings, there's going to be a period to set up, there's going to be a download, upload period for them to upload our files. I'm going to have Westchester County involved in sharing the data. So there's going to be a little gray period until we get up and running, but it shouldn't be long.
Okay.
Month?
Right, I'm just
Month
asking.
and a half.
All right, good.
Yeah,
No,
it's,
nothing is intuitive.
No, it sounds like it is an intuitive program.
we gave them 5 of our forms that I use or
Yeah.
more so, like the catch basin cleaning, outfall, sanitary sewer overflow, and they're going to digitize all of that so we're ready to roll. So something happens, boom, boom, outfall inspection, fill it out, take picture, and go.
Right now, we have a lot of paper that we do, they do come in and inspect.
We do get a 5-year audit, and
So we're
up
literally
on that
bringing
time.
boxes of paperwork
Right,
sometimes.
no, so I think it's wonderful. Thank you for finding it.
There's many companies out there, you just gotta pick one and go with it. 'Cause
Right.
they're all none of them are perfect. Just gotta pick one and go.
And you talk to some other, these municipalities that use it and such.
Greg?
Roll call.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Crom?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heiser?
Yes. Resolution number 9, considering an agreement between the Village of Rybrook and the Portchester School District for the school resource officers.
Whereas the Village of Rybrook and the Portchester School District had a school resource officer program in place for the 2024-25 school year that provided one SRO that was shared by the high school and the middle school, and whereas Rybrook and the Portchester School District have negotiated a proposed agreement to formalize and continue the SRO program, adding an additional SRO so that one SRO will be located at the high school and another at the middle school for the 25-26 school year, and whereas Rybrook seeks to enter into the proposed and revised SRO agreement with the Portchester School District, and therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the proposed and revised SRO agreement with the Portchester School District, subject to modification by council, and be it further resolved that the deputy mayor and administrator are authorized to execute the license agreement, and not the license, the agreement, and deliver all documents necessary to accomplish the purposes of the resolution.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Second.
I do have questions.
Please ask.
So the questions that I have that I want to just bring up are the fact that I asked if other costs were being covered. You said that you detailed them, Chris?
Yes. Yeah,
And are
provided
they
that to the
included in
board.
this?
They are-
or-
No, they're not. This is the same formula. I pointed out, and I shared that with the board, but this is the same formula that we provided in the first agreement.
Right, I know, but I thought that we said that we might amend it because we have additional costs that we incur.
Yes, that was the additional cost, which was outlined by the police chief and the village, my office and treasurer's office. That was all provided to the board and discussed in our session on the draft in the last executive session. And this was the
I
agreement.
was not here, I don't
This is
think.
the agreement that was agreed to put forward.
If you have specific questions, ask them.
Okay, I was not here, I don't think.
You were not here, no.
Okay, so I guess my questions have to do is we do incur extra costs with regard to the decaling of the cars and stuff like that, and I thought that we were going to, because that is a cost that we incur, I thought we were going to try to include that in the contract. And you said we couldn't do it for the first one because it's already in place.
The last year's was already in place, yeah.
Yes, and I understand
And
that.
this one modifies so that it covers last year and this year, but the agreement, the principle and the agreement for the last agreement is in place. Trustee Epstein, the best I could say is those costs were outlined, and in the last executive session, it was decided that this was the agreement that was going to go forward. It was outlined, and that was the,
So when
that was the
can we address this again? It would be next year's contract, or is this something that has to go forward every single time?
no, this is, everything is year to year, so it's up to the board. You could do it now and go back if the board agrees, so you would have to make,
So I just, I'm
this is a
sorry
five,
that
no,
I-
this is a 5-year agreement, so.
well,
So if you wanted to put a different, if you're not satisfied with this formula, that would require you to make a motion to add something in based on, and how much that should be. Or to ask to not consider it and discuss it in executive session again.
Can anybody want to share with me how the decision was made, and was this discussion included? Or is this not an appropriate venue to discuss this?
I think that discussion should take place in executive session, if that's what.
Okay, I would like to have a discussion.
So you should make a motion to not act on this tonight and to discuss in executive session. And if there's a second and a vote, then you can do that. If not, then the vote would proceed. I mean, those are the options that are in front.
I thought we discussed this last meeting.
Yeah, last meeting,
It was
The last
right, and
one.
I missed it.
the board said to put forward this agreement.
If you are concerned, please do not hesitate to make your motion. We'll get a second for you.
Okay. I would like to have this discussion, because I'm sorry that I missed it, but I did bring it up in our previous discussion. And this is a 5-year contract, and this is a cost that Rybrook incurs, and I do not understand why we cannot include it in the cost that we pass on. So I would like to have I move to discuss it further.
Okay, quick question. How much more is it the cost?
I didn't bring all that information there, but there was
About
basically,
approximate-
there was, some of the things I remember was 5,500, 4,500? It was around, somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 for outfitting, I remember, right?
Year?
And, no, for the initial outfitting. And there's some other miscellaneous costs for, for uniforms and allowances and things like that in our contract.
And we also buy another vehicle.
And no, we don't buy another vehicle, so it was like it was between 4,000 and 5,000 for
Buy another vehicle.
additional personnel costs that we incur for uniforms, and like vests and things like that.
For 10 months out of the year.
Okay.
First, I would like to get
We can discuss it.
somebody to make a second to trustee Epstein's motion. Am I allowed to second it?
Can you do it under Robert's rules, the mayor?
I'll second it. Don't go through with it.
There you go.
I'll second it.
Thanks, much easier.
Now I have a question. Chris, is there any need for speed on this decision?
I hate to punt it, but I'm gonna have to ask the chief if there's any classes or issues that we should be aware of. I think the issue is not so much about whether or not we're going to provide it, unless the board tells me otherwise. It's not about whether or not we're going to provide it. The question is only if there's additional costs that we're going to go talk to the school about that they would have to agree to. That would be the only potential, right?
Right.
So that's the only reason
So
we
I'm in
wouldn't.
favor of the SRO. I realize that there is a value to it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the Village of Rybrook should bear the extra expense and not include it. We didn't think about it the first time, but it is now a 5-year contract, and I would like to just pursue that.
And that should be a board discussion, and so you have a motion to that effect.
Yes.
To answer the deputy mayor's question, I think we could proceed either way. The only risk would be we'd be investing time and money into something that the school didn't agree, but we're talking about a pretty minor number either way, in the scope of things.
And I'd like to remind trustee Epstein that our next board meeting is August 19th, which is when our executive session would normally take place.
We can have a special executive session.
That's what I'm saying to you.
I think we talked about having a special meeting.
So few meetings.
I think we're planning on a special meeting anyhow.
Yes, we are.
So we could perhaps do it to that,
Yes,
at
we
that
could do
meeting.
that.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
Just, I know that somehow the gray cells start deteriorating after a while.
So that meeting will be discussing, or you'll have some information from Portchester?
We have all the information. The question is whether or not the board wants to include additional costs that wasn't in last year's agreement, and then we would, if the board did, then we would have to go to the Portchester schools to see if they'd agree to it.
And help pay for it.
That would be the assumption. Yeah.
Right.
We have a motion right now pending. It's been seconded. And I guess the net result would be tabling
Correct.
This
Correct,
this
yes.
resolution. So Greg, you want to
Yeah, sure.
poll us?
Absolutely. Trustee Epstein.
Yes.
Trustee Crum.
Sure, yes.
Trustee Morlino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes.
So what I'll do is I'll include that in our other special meeting that we're going to set going forward.
Sure, and I appreciate it, thank you. I'm sorry that I have missed very few meetings in my 12 or 11, 12 years, but obviously, these are something I missed.
Resolution number 10, considering an agreement between the Village of Rybrook and Carrier Commercial Service for HVAC repairs at the Anthony J. Posillipo Senior Center on the basis of best value.
Whereas on March 11th, 2014, the Board of Trustees adopted a local law allowing for purchasing through best value as defined in the New York State Finance Law, and whereas Rybrook seeks to conduct necessary repairs to the HVAC system at the AJP Senior Center, and whereas Rybrook has been awarded a grant in the amount of $124,500 through the Community Development Block Grant Program for Westchester County for HVAC repairs at the AJP Senior Center, and whereas Rybrook has received a proposed agreement from Carrier Commercial Services of 500 Bi-County Boulevard, Farmingdale, New York, through Sourcewell to conduct the necessary HVAC repairs at the AJP Senior Center at the total estimated cost of $233,335, and be it further resolved, and whereas it's in the best interest of the Village of Rybrook to enter into the proposed agreement with the Carrier Commercial Services through Sourcewell's cooperative purchasing contract on the basis of best value as it results in taxpayer savings by being offered through Sourcewell's competitive procurement process. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the proposed agreement between the Village of Rybrook and Commercial Services of Farmingdale, New York through Sourcewell on the basis of best value for the reasons set forth herein, and a total estimated price of $233,355. Be it further resolved, the mayor and administrator are authorized to sign any documents to implement the purposes of this resolution. I'll just say the mayor, deputy mayor, and administrator.
Any combination thereof.
Yes.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
So a lot of discussion about HVAC project tonight.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
So what this does is allows you to purchase, remember, anything we purchase through best value has to be approved by the board under our village code. So it's not through if it doesn't match the New York State procurement process through the New York State government system, they're allowed to purchase through best value using other programs like cooperative purchasing agreements. If those cooperative purchasing agreements did it like New York State, then you can approve them. If not, that without, as a bid. If they didn't find the exact same, then it can be done through best value. Long story short, this is the really good price for the work that's being done. Mr. Nowak has vetted this to no end. I think this started, Michael, what was the high point of this work? Over 300,000, and he's been able to get it down to 233. I mentioned that the other resolutions you'll see added basically 124,000 on top of that, and that's the purpose that I talked about before about it had to be advanced and then we'll get reimbursed. So at the end of the day, the project's still 233, but the money that we need to advance was to cover the cost, and then that gets sent back, and that'll go back to the general fund.
Any other questions of Chris?
Michael, so the boilers first, then the air conditioning second projects, how are they gonna, thinking like now's the time to do the boiler and maybe September to do the air conditioning?
I like the way you think. That is great as far as a schedule. However, the boilers are done and operational.
Oh, it's good.
So we're one step ahead of the game.
Good.
So as of right now, there's approximately an 8-week lead time on equipment
Oh, so
that
good.
we're specking out. So we're looking at, about October, November. So we're right on that nice and comfortable weather area for doing this work. But yeah, it's not impacting the boilers, but it will impact the heat because obviously they're high units.
And then the air conditioning units, I think, right, they can't be turned on during the winters or certain wet temperature,
When
right?
you're below 50 degrees, you're not supposed to run the compressors.
So then we'll get it reevaluated in the spring,
No, we'll do the startup
yeah?
up front, yeah. Yeah, they'll do a startup and there's a warranty on them,
Okay,
so we'll watch
yeah,
what the
you
weather
know,
is.
right.
And this is, maybe just briefly describe what the project is, if you don't mind.
So the project is to replace 4 HVAC systems. There are 4 separate central air units in the building with hot water coils in them for heating that are tied into the boiler. And we are basically replacing all 4 of the fan coil units inside the building, all 4 of the condensers on the rooftop. We have to upgrade all our piping because the EPA now has phased out refrigerants, so we can no longer use those existing lines because the sizes have changed. So we, as a result, have to re-pipe new piping. We also have to upgrade the smoke detectors within the ductwork. So there's a lot of moving parts here that we're doing. There's a lot of work.
And it's all
here.
heavy work, it's got all on the roof, it's got to be lifted up on
We
top.
have a roofing contractor involved. We have about 8 trades involved.
Wow.
We have HVAC, we have the roofing contractors, we have the tin knockers, we have sheet metal people, we have the plumbers, we have electricians, we got fire alarm people, we have a heavy tow company to do
It
the
sounds like
lifting.
it's an onion.
Yes, it is, but I'm hoping not to cry.
Ooh, a lot of fun tonight.
The existing units are on, should I say, platforms already water-proofed and pitch pockets and all the...
The existing units are on pitch pockets and they're on roof curbs. Those are going to be, the
You-
pitch pockets are going to be abandoned.
Okay.
We're doing a new
That-
roof penetration, a new box.
New
We're going to
box.
do a box with all new boots, and the units are going to go on the existing curbs.
Curbs, okay.
Yeah.
Because once you...
We're limited to what we could put up there because the framing of the building is wood.
Mhm.
There's no steel dunnage in there, so we couldn't go crazy in efficiency, higher efficiency like 1820 SEER because they're just way heavy. And
Right, and-
without doing a structural analysis, which we don't want to.
And that's EPDM, rubber...
EPDM rubber roof.
Mm.
And I will mention too, and the headaches really begin when the contractors start and Mr. Nowak and Mr. Rivera have to submit all the paperwork to the county. And Liz has to do this too. There's interviews with the people, there's all the certified, all the payrolls, there's Davis-Bacon wages, there's a whole lot of regulations that goes along with it.
So as part of this contract, actually, Carrier Corp's going to be assigning a project manager who's going to be assisting us with that paperwork. So they're going to be pulling all the payrolls from all the trades, all the companies. They're going to be coordinating all of that.
And if you don't do it up front, then you're chasing afterwards and trying to get backwards to try to get all the right paperwork,
Yes.
and it's hard to do that after the trades have left.
What?
Yeah.
That's why everything costs so much money.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
Any other questions, comments?
This is our emergency cooling center, right? So
This is also,
This is-
listen, we have no choice.
this is a really
It's our
important, this is
system.
an important project for a lot of reasons, yeah.
And it sounds like a huge project and one
Yep.
that you have your hands on and know the scope, so great.
Well, it's a team effort here. I mean, Greg's been helping and Liz has been helping, so everybody's involved, and Chris has been involved in this. I mean, everybody's got their hands in this, so, everybody's chipping in here, but this took on a life of its own because of the new regulations and what we have to do, which kind of snowballed a little bit, but we got it under control, and we look forward to getting it done, and, having units in here serve the village for another, 15, 20 years.
Good.
Trustee Epstein.
Yes.
Trustee Cron.
Yes, good luck.
Trustee Morlino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes.
And I'm just going to add that we're going to just have in there approved subject to council on the agreement.
Resolution number 11, considering awarding contract 25-14, sanitary sewer repairs.
Wonder he's here all night.
I spend it, I don't bring it in.
Whereas Rybrook has solicited bids for contract 25-14 sanitary sewer repairs, and whereas the bid for this contract was advertised in the Journal News as the official newspaper, and on Wednesday, June 25th, and was also made available on the BidNet Direct bid system, and whereas 10 a.m. on July 16th, all bids were received, were opened, and summarized below, and there's 5 bidders, with the total amounts that vary between low of $73,165 and a high of $115,978 for the base bid plus the alternate one. Now therefore be resolved that the Village Board of Trustees has determined that the lowest responsible bidder meeting the requirements of the contract is Peter Landy of 13 Bradhurst Avenue, Hawthorne, New York, for the total bid amount of $73,165 with alternate one. And be it further resolved that the mayor, the deputy mayor, and administrator are authorized to execute and deliver all documents necessary or appropriate to accomplish the purposes of the resolution.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved?
Second.
We're approving the alternate.
Yeah, in that is the alternate. So the base bid is $46,375. The alternate is $26,790 for a total of $73,165 for the base bid plus the alternate.
As always, I am amazed at the discrepancy in the bids. There's a 60% differential between the low and the high.
The three lowest though was pretty tight, so that's good.
But a 60% bump up for the
Yeah.
high. God bless him.
See who's going to bid.
So, quick question, is one discussion then?
Sure.
Quick question again, Michael? A couple of quick questions. Okay. So these bids are based on footage of your lining the sewers? This is for lining?
No,
No,
this
this
is for a direct sanitary sewer line replacement of approximately, I believe, 40 to 50 feet on Garibaldi.
Oh, yes, I remember.
There's a spot
Okay.
repair we have to
I remember the
completely
project.
replace.
Done.
And in doing
We
our
talked about
inspections, we
this. That's
found
right, that's
a
right.
manhole structure in another location of the village that's completely
Concord.
deteriorated.
That's
that
right.
we have to.
Right, I remember I'm sorry,
So Concord and Garibaldi.
I remember this
We've been
conversation.
holding off on this work pending some other projects and stuff.
Okay.
We're discussing.
Thank you. That was good, I remember, no. We talked
It's actually
about
good
that.
pricing.
Yeah,
I'm happy
fits
with
our
the
budget.
pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah, within our budget, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
For your hard work.
Questions or comments?
Trustee Epstein.
Yes.
Trustee Crom.
Yes.
Trustee Morlino.
Yes,
And Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes. Resolution number 12, considering the purchase of self-contained breathing, now you use apparatuses, I prefer just leaving apparatus, for the fire department on the basis of best value. I think both are correct when it comes to plural of apparatus.
Whereas on March 11th, 2014, the board approved a local law allowing for best value, competitive on the basis of best value. And whereas Rybrook is seeking to purchase 9 self-contained breathing apparatus for the fire department. And whereas the village has been awarded $85,714.28 grant for a 5% matching cost for a total of $90,000 from FEMA to cover the cost of these SCBA's. And whereas in the best interest of the village to purchase the 9 SCBA's from Sourcewell on the basis of best value, as it results in taxpayer savings since it's the lowest quote received by the village, and therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the purchase of 9 self-contained breathing apparatus through Sourcewell on the basis of best value for the reasons set forth herein at a total estimated price of $89,857, and be it further resolved the mayor and administrator are authorized to sign any documents to implement the purposes of this resolution.
Can I get a motion?
I should
and a
say
second?
the total should be 90 instead of
Motion.
the 89.
motion.
Second.
Questions, comments? How do you
It's
feel about
important,
apparatus?
it's important to have the right,
apparatuses?
it's important to have the right
Apparatus.
safety equipment.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, we got a nice grant for it, so that's great.
My suggestion is get the money from FEMA as
Yes,
quickly as possible.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
why we're moving on this.
Yeah. What we're told is it's still there.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Go,
Tomorrow,
go,
get
go.
it.
It should have been,
Yes.
we could have had a special meeting for that.
Trustee Epstein.
Yes.
Trustee Crom.
Yes.
Trustee Morlino.
Yes,
Deputy Mayor Heiser.
Yes. Resolution number 13, considering an approval of temporary license agreement for storm mitigation project at Rye Ridge Condominium, Avon Circle.
Whereas Rye Ridge Condominium Association, Avon Circle, is the owner of real property located at the corner of North Ridge and Westchester Avenue in Rybrook, and whereas Rybrook seeks to apply for a green resiliency grant from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation to assist the Rye Condominium, Rye Ridge Condominium, Avon Circle with flood mitigation. And whereas Rybrook seeks to install an underground water detention system underneath the Portchester Middle School property, and whereas as part of the Green Resiliency Grant requirements, Rybrook must have the necessary access to Avon Circle, Westchester Avenue, and the Portchester Middle School, and whereas Avon Circle seeks to allow the Village of Rybrook to apply for a Green Resiliency Grant, now therefore be resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees hereby authorizes Rybrook to enter into a temporary license agreement with Rye Ridge Condo Association to allow the Village of Rybrook to meet the Green Resiliency Grant requirements, and be it further resolved, the Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Administrator are authorized to execute the license agreement and deliver all necessary documents to accomplish the purposes of the resolution.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, comments?
Comments. I'd just like to applaud and, the proactive nature of this and the tenacity to, as one program for grants that would fund something like this, went away. The village staff pivoted to another source, wish you luck. And, I'm rooting for the project, rooting for stormwater improvements. Obviously, this is a key area that often sees its share of flooding issues, so I applaud all this, and also the proactive nature. I know that if the grant doesn't happen, then some of the easements here won't go into effect, but I love that it's becoming, working real hard to get it shovel-ready.
Any other questions, comments?
No.
Just one thing, Administrator Bradbury, you may have said I missed it, but just to be sure, Deputy Mayor Heiser was...
I did.
Okay.
Yep, put all three.
Be sure. Okay. Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Crom?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
And Deputy Mayor Heiser?
Yes. Resolution number 14, considering approving a waiver of any conflicts of interest for Keane and Beane regarding a temporary license agreement with the Portchester School District.
Whereas the Village of Rybrook seeks to apply for a Green Resiliency Grant for the Rye Ridge Condominium Avon Circle project with flood mitigation, and whereas Rybrook seeks to install an underground water detention system underneath the Portchester Middle School property, and whereas as part of the grant requirements, Rybrook must have the necessary access to Avon Circle, Westchester Avenue, and Portchester Middle School, and whereas a temporary license agreement with Portchester School District is required to gain necessary access, and whereas Keane and Beane represents both the Portchester School District and the Village of Rybrook, and would typically review the temporary license agreement with both parties and both agencies. And since Keane and Beane represents both the Portchester School District and the Village of Rybrook, an acknowledgement and waiver of the potential conflicts of interest is needed for Keane and Beane to review the suggested language, actually prepare and review the suggested language for the IMA, now therefore, for the agreement, and now therefore be resolved that the Village of Rybrook Board of Trustees hereby acknowledges and approves the waiver of any potential conflict of interest so that Keane and Beane can review, draft, and modify a temporary license agreement between the Village of Rybrook and the Portchester School District to gain the necessary access to the middle school. Be it further resolved that Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Administrator are hereby authorized to execute the license agreement and deliver all documents necessary to accomplish the purposes of the resolution.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
Questions, comments? Ralph, I assume this is a fairly common thing within law firms in terms of just building what they used to call a Chinese wall.
Yes. Yes. And there'll be two different attorneys, one in our office representing Portchester School District on this matter, and another attorney representing Rybrook.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, comment. Given that it seems like a very cooperative venture, I'm totally comfortable with this. We're not at odds, as far as I can tell, we're not at odds at all on this. It seems like the perfect chance to do this kind of thing.
Right. I think we all have the same goal, and I don't think it's an issue. But I understand that you have to have this.
Right.
Correct.
Concur.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Crom?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heiser?
Yes. Resolution number 15, considering an approval of temporary license agreement for storm mitigation project at the Portchester School District.
Whereas the Portchester School District is the owner of real property on the corner of Westchester Avenue and Bowman Avenue near Ridge Street, and whereas the Rybrook seeks to apply for a green resiliency grant for the project we've been talking about all night at Avon and Rye Ridge condominiums, and whereas Rybrook seeks to install an underground stormwater detention underneath a portion of the Portchester Middle School property, and whereas as part of the grant requirements, Rybrook must have necessary access to Avon and the Portchester Middle School, and whereas the Portchester School District would have to agree to a temporary license agreement with Rybrook granting access to the school property prior to applying for the Green Resiliency Grant, and whereas a temporary license agreement with the district will be drafted in the same or similar format as the license agreement with Rye Ridge Condo, and now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes Rybrook to enter into a temporary license agreement with the Portchester School District in the same or similar format as the license agreement with Rye Ridge Condominium to allow Village of Rybrook to access to the school property and meet the minimum requirements of the grant, and whereas be it further resolved that the mayor and deputy mayor and administrator are authorized to execute the license agreement and deliver all necessary documents to accomplish its purposes, subject to approval by council.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
Second, anyone?
Second.
Questions, comments?
So procedurally, now the board has approved the waiver conflict. If the school district approves the waiver conflict, then Keane and Beane can draft a license agreement which will be extremely similar to the one that was done with Avon Circle and Rye Ridge condos, and then we'd be able to move forward. The board has also authorized one in that same or similar format as the Avon Circle, and the deadlines we're working against is the grant is due on August 15th, which doesn't leave us a lot of time to get all this in place, so we're hoping that all the parties are able to move as quickly as possible.
Any questions of Chris?
Question, are we using our grant application company to help us with a grant application, or are we doing this on our own?
No, there's a lot of moving parts, but the grant application company is doing the application. There's a lot of layers to this. So the grant application company is doing the language for the grant application. We also have other funds that are available through the state, but we're working on having Rostan Solutions, Rostan Engineering is doing this. We need surveys for the license agreement. So we're doing the surveys for that. We're doing, Keane and Beane will be doing the language, so we need meets and bounds. We need the revised survey language. Now, all that is a lot of work, but the good news financially is we have other grants that we're able to utilize through the state to assist us towards that purpose.
Okay.
So it doesn't cost us anything other than a lot of time.
And we already have the preliminary engineering done for how big the retention,
It's a preliminary plan that's in there with, it still needs construction documents.
right.
But it's got there was a study that led to the project, and the project that
Okay.
led to a preliminary design that has to be just detailed into construction documents, and then we'd be able to go forward with it. But in order to do that, we need to get the access. We have about $3.5 million from the county. We're trying to get the additional money from the Green Resiliency. And if we get all that in place, then we're able to move forward with the construction documents and go out and do the bid work and everything else. But we need to have the license agreements to show that we have access to the property to be able to do it and be able to move forward.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah. Thanks.
It's a tough,
It's a lot of moving
tough
parts.
schedule.
So,
Yeah.
I'm working on the agreements. Michael's working on with the Rostan. We're updating the budget on it because that's a little bit dated. We're working with our state with theirs, with a grant that they're extending additional funds for us, which is nice. And then we have our Millennium that's working on the grant application itself.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Listen, if it works, it's a wonderful project, and that's the good news. It's something that would really make a difference for Avon. It would also help the school district by having a more usable field, and all of it done with a lot of grant money where we're really trying, other than, again, time, we're trying to do it really at no cost to the village or the school.
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Crom?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heiser?
Yes. Resolution number 16, considering the appointment of a police chief.
Now therefore be resolved that Eric Dengler of Purchase, New York is hereby conditionally reappointed to the position of police chief with the Village of Rybrook, subject to the civil service procedures of the State of New York, in accordance to the terms of the offer letter dated July 18th, 2025. And be it further resolved, the annual salary is $203,000, and that's the salary for fiscal year 24-25, with an effective start date of July 23rd, 2025.
Can I get a motion and a second, please?
Second.
Questions, comments?
No.
Eric, thank you for serving as our police chief, and I wish you the best of luck in the future. Any other questions, comments?
Trustee Epstein?
Yes.
Trustee Crom?
Yes.
Trustee Morlino,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Heiser?
Yes. Finally, resolution number 17.
17?
17.
Yeah.
Holy
Hard to
crap.
believe.
Jason, the mayor said to just load up this agenda, make it as long as
I
possible.
know, I see the time.
I'm trying to remember when we have to approve salary increases for having loaded the agenda.
No comment.
Exactly. Resolution number 17, considering approval of the minutes for the meeting held on May 27th, 2025.
Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Trustees approves the minutes for the meeting held on May 27th, 2025.
Can I get a motion and a second?
Motion.
Can we approve this by acclamation?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Administrators report.
Okay, I have 42 items that I want to go over. I only have
Start with number 41.
just a few items. So we're very excited to have our second Music in the Park event tomorrow night. That's Wednesday, July 23rd, starting at 6:45, and it's going to be Beane Dan, which is an extremely popular band. They draw a great crowd. They provide great music, and everybody's looking forward to be able to going out tomorrow night and enjoying a nice evening. This Friday, we have our last scheduled Ice Cream in the Park, which is this Friday, July 25th at 6 p.m. And we're also going to have our swap event there, which is hosted by the Sustainability Committee. And it's nice. They've done each one of the ice cream events where they come out and residents can come out and bring books and lightly used games or puzzles and swap. And even if you don't have something to swap, you can just take something from the table and bring it home. It's a nice way to reuse different things in the community. We just ask that nobody drop off and not take an equal amount back. We're not looking to be a depository for our things. We're looking to either take something away or provide one and take one away.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we're not looking to create a tag sale there. We're looking to be able to have a swap event. But speaking of tag sale, this Saturday, July 26th, is our community tag sale, and that goes from 9 to 3 p.m. We have over 24, 25 participants? 23, 24 participants, and already on our website is a map of all the people that are participating, so we encourage residents to go to those locations. Take a look. We have there's a map, there's addresses on our website, there's also the types of things that they have at each of those locations. So we sent an email out today. We'll be using other social media where you can just go and take a look and see all the different locations, both in a list form and a map form, where you can go out and be part of the community and see what some of our neighbors are putting out that you might have some use for. Next, the County Board of Legislators has been hosting a series of public input sessions on the Con Ed rate case, and they've asked to use Rybrook Village Hall to meet with area residents or anyone that wants to come from the public. So that'll be on July 29th from 7 to 9 p.m. And I think we're expecting between 5 and 7 Board of Legislators that would be expected. Yep, and we'll be doing here in the meeting room, and they've done this throughout the county to try to get input and provide education to residents on it, which is, again, we're attacking this from all sides. We have our 40 communities that have worked together. We have the county executive's office and the county board of legislators all trying to combat against the Con Ed rates, which are in double digits, and just, this would take effect next year or perhaps further if there's a 3-year settlement or a 2-year settlement. The biggest concerns we're seeing are things like, Westchester subsidizing some of the costs from New York City, which is not correct or shouldn't be done. So there's some things we'd like to see changed, and hopefully the Public Service Commission will consider that. Sustainable Westchester has been doing a big push to provide information to the community about the Westchester Power Program. They've held two public input sessions here at Village Hall. They went to our Rybrook birthday celebration, and now they're going to hold a virtual information session. If you weren't able to come in person, you can join the virtual information session at 7 p.m. on July 29th. That information on how to access it is on our website, social media, so we're going to be continuing to put out information if residents have questions about it, want to know how to opt out, or just want to learn more about the program. This information session would be for you. So that's all I have for tonight.
Do any members of the public wish to say anything?
They are silent.
They're silent, so that's good. As our next meeting is not until August 19th, I'd also like to remind the community that on July 30th, we have Music in the Park, Andrea and the Armenian Rug Riders. On August 15th, we have Minecraft, an outdoor movie. And on August 20th, we have Music in the Park, once again, Logical Pretzel. As I said, our next meeting is August 19th, and the meeting after that is September 9th. I thank everybody for putting up with us for 2 hours. I appreciate my fellow trustees putting up with me for 2 hours, which I wouldn't do. And so I wish everybody a good night. Stay safe.
Okay.
Good night.